Good morning to everybody. I know that you're spending your, valuable time on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. when pretty much the whole world is trying to go, I think, to FB Live and Insta Live and crowd the airways and, give you so much content that you're getting in this COVID time sitting at home. I think we're all very blessed that we have access to such illustrious folks who we get to this platform through Sanskriti and Samvad. It's truly a delight and an honor for us to be part of this township and such a good Indian, I would say, cultural and artistic background that we have, and not only us, but I think also our kids and also our parents benefit a lot from this. So a huge thank you to Nita and all the executive members of Samvad as well for giving us the opportunity here. We really appreciate housekeeping. This. So just one thing, I know whenever I kind of talked about her so far, I've called her Masi, but honestly, I've never called her Masi in my life myself. She's my Chitti. And a lot of people ask this question, who is Chitti, which side? And I'm always confused. Why do people ask whose side is Masi? Masi always has to be the mother's side. So anyway, so basically she's Chitti. She's my mother's, first sister. And I don't have any words to describe her. She's, I can call her accomplished. She told me that, she's had a Sangeeta, Alankara in classical music. And I was like, ye kya hota hai? And I just went and Googled it and I was like, wow, this is a lot. This is really big. This is people who have studied really, and learned a lot in music. Then she also has a master's in Vedic astrology, right? And that is as complex as it sounds, as I'm sure you can, infer. She's been in music, I don't know, more than 4 decades, 40 plus years kind of stuff. And not only learning, but also teaching, right? And then I think towards the later part of her career, she's transformed into a music therapist. And kind of that's what kind of brings us all together. And before I start, Chitti, I think I allowed you to unmute. So you're muted right now. If you don't mind, if you can just unmute yourself.
I have already unmuted.
Good. I can hear you. Though it shows as muted. So
okay.
So Chitti, welcome. Welcome to the platform. Welcome to Sanskriti and Samvad. We are so happy to, have you here. I'll just start by saying, my memories of you are very different from this music therapist and this professional artist and all that stuff, right? I mean, I remember we lived in Calcutta and then we used to go to Hyderabad every other year, right? It's mother's side 1 year, father's side the other year kind of thing. And then we used to come to your place and you had this, this big house with huge, beautiful garden, beautiful flowers and all that stuff. And we had so much fun time, so much love, so much laughter and so many memories associated with you. And to see you in this avatar, in this roop today kind of stuff, it's it's hard to reconcile, but, I just have to start off by asking you this question. How did you even get started on this path?
Actually, music, I must say that it was part of me. It's actually music is part of everybody's. It starts with the first cry of ours. And that's how it came to me. And from childhood, I had music I was learning then because my father was in a transferable job. So it was going on, there was an obstacle, I must say, some places we were getting music teachers and some was not there. But yes, all the time, somehow it was in me and I was used to sing a lot, movie songs or even classical songs, which I used to hear from the movies. Somewhere I was getting attracted towards certain ragas, but I kept quiet because I was too young to discuss about all these things. Then I must say, as God's blessing, sudden change happened, a lot of changes happened. And one of the biggest blessing change was meeting my guru. And it came quite late in my life, but he was nearly 20 years I was blessed to be with him. And music, he encouraged me because before I met him, I was into music as a music instructor, as judging various, competitions and all those things. But he was the one who recognized there is something beyond this. And I must tell first his name. He is Brahmashri uh, Sangeeta, Sangeetacharya, Sri Kollegha Subramaniam. I am very, very blessed to be his Sishya. And he told that, Amma, what you are feeling from all these things is, this is what I was also looking in somebody. And I'm very happy that you have come into, as part of Sishya in my life. Always I say, like a guru, we look for a good guru. Guru also looks for a good Sishya. And that's how, music was as a just from learning. I'm still learning. I must say that I'm still learning music, definitely. From learning, then I, went through various exams and, judging, and on every phase, it was more and more learning, I must say. I learned more and more different things about various ragas, and somehow I just kept learning, that's all. And out of blue, this happened, and then when he also recognized that something is there which I can use as a healing, that knowledge should be used for healing, not for being on a platform looking for somebody to clap and somebody to write the critical comments or something like that. So he said, no, yours is only for healing. So you get into it. In fact, I must say that the healing, what I must say, that quality in my voice, you all will be surprised to know that was very early. That is, even I was not even into music therapy, but I was teaching and I was singing. It was my younger sister. One day she just said, when I was talking to her, and she said, Rajam, your voice, it's actually giving a very soothing feeling. And there is something about your voice. You have to look into it. There is something healing. And that's where and more above when I met my Guruji and he saw this quality in me. And yes, with the all support of my family members and especially my husband and my children and everybody, they supported me. And I became part of still music. Now, I must say that music in everybody's life. That's I'm very, very sure of. That's it.
That's wonderful to hear, Chiti. This you touched upon so many things there,
Yeah.
and I just want to kind of tell you that there are a lot of people who have joined today also from, as Neeta was saying, from the Sambandh group, right? They are all, I want to respectfully use the word senior citizens with no, disrespect there at all, meant at all. But they're all in an age, right? They're all in an age where they think that they have gone through their professional life, they have done what they have, they are settled, they have kids, they have grandkids, and all that stuff. You are a grandmother.
Yes.
You have, I mean, you and you don't look anywhere close to your age.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. So I just feel that just looking at you and listening to you should itself be inspirational to pretty much everybody around, right?
Yeah.
We'll touch that part a little bit more when we go through this thing, because there are a lot of questions that usually especially in this COVID times, a lot of senior citizens are not they are feeling a little anxiety, and I'm sure you will be talking to us about how
Sure.
we can have some ragas and all that for them.
Yeah.
So why don't we start though with a general overview? What is this music therapy? We all know what is classical music. I'm sure everybody here is not logged in. Either they are in Hindustani classical or they are in Carnatic. Very few confused people like me are in both. But what is this music therapy? Why don't you start? Why don't we start?
Yeah. See, music as therapy actually begins in our life with the first cry. I always said that first cry is the most therapeutic. You know why? Because unless the first cry happens, we are not healthy. We are not a healthy baby. As soon as we are born, the first cry in the form of, I must say that it's the music of our life. It starts. And that is the last file to close when to the last moment of our life. That's also true. And music, as various stages of our life, we feel as part of our life, whether it is like lullaby or as romantic songs or very various stages as students, as just last stage of our years of teenage, then entering into 20s and 30s and 40s. Music in different kind. We start enjoying the music in different kind. Now coming to the therapeutic part of it. Our life is actually storehouse of emotions, various emotions. And the emotions gives that kind of, creates what we say, the mood. And we have terrible mood swings. Sometimes our mood is very happy. Sometimes we are not so happy. We want to be at peace. Sometimes very angry or navarasas, what we call in general. And as if you think now, before going to our own life, even you are seeing the movie, think about some joyful scene it's going on, some marriage or some celebration or something like that. And that time, if the music plays the behind, as very sad, very slow tempo, and what reaction it gives. In fact, I must tell here a small experience which I had. Myself and my husband, we both attended a marriage in the South India in a small town. And this marriage reception, they asked for some band with various instruments and all. And it was a marriage reception. And the artist was performing beautifully, especially on the saxophone. And he was playing मेरा जीवन कोरा कागज कोरा ही रह गया. Can you think of this song to be played in a function like a marriage?
I'm sure there must have been a divorce already at that time.
So actually what happened was, we could not go and disturb him at that time. Once he was finished, my husband went there as if to say, he said, yes, you played very beautifully. Just please don't play this in this occasion. We don't know what is the lyrics in that. Some people, we know the lyrics, and that doesn't suit this occasion at all. This can be played in a bar or somewhere, where you have to be go with the mood. So this is what. So now this example would have given you how the musical notes have an impact in our body, in our body cells. So whatever may be the mood, that to synchronize that, the body actually longs for a similar kind of some vibration or frequency in the form of sound, in the form of a tune, which actually enhances whatever mood they are. Like poison cuts poison. If somebody is feeling low, a melancholy raga, a song will definitely give him or her the impact that they are looking for. If you try to give a joyful song at that time, it will definitely not go with the person. It will irritate more. And that's where the therapeutic quality of a music comes into the picture. So if somebody needs that soothing vibration frequency coming from a song, a tune, either in a vocal form or in an instrumental form, which actually goes along with the mood of that person, and that actually gives him the soothing what he requires. And even whatever the mood, suppose it's a joyful mood, you will definitely look for a song like Nagada, 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 Baja, or Das Bahane Karke Le Gaya Dil, Das Bahane. This type of music definitely will look for the pretty songs, not आंसू भरी है ये जीवन की राहें. See, the music immediately changes the chemistry of our body system. Then it doesn't suit the mood in which that person is. So that body longs for that kind of mood, that kind of the vibration, that kind of the song. This is the therapeutic quality. So
Very nice. And I can completely relate with that. Like today in the morning when I got up, every day in the morning I listen to Bhairav, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's my first when I listen to Bhairav,
yes,
right?
this is the morning
Uh,
raga.
Morning Raga. Then I was like, after listening to Bhairav, if I am just in the Bhairav frame of mind and come here for this, this conversation with you, I was very sure that nobody would be, in any good state to hear me. So I was like, okay, what else do I put on? Then I put some, Sufi music. I listened to Abida Parveen. And
Yes,
then I
yes,
said, obviously I cannot sing with Abida Parveen because she's a genius. So let me put a lighter, Ghulam Ali, Jagjit Singh kind of thing. At least I can hum around. So my vocal cords are actually starting. So
yes,
I can totally, absolutely empathize with what you're saying. But it's very interesting to me to note that irrespective. So today we have actually a global audience. Yeah, as Neeta mentioned, we have people from Middle East, we have people from India, there were people from here in the West Coast, everywhere.
yeah,
But the music is also universally, it can be based on the 7 primary notes,
yes,
right?
yes, yeah,
And I can listen to somebody very, very classical, like Rashid Khan kind of thing, or I can listen to an instrumental like El Subramaniam, or Mandolin Srinivas and all. But it's like it's amazing to hear that this whole music doesn't depend where it is coming from, and the basic structure allows it to have some therapeutic value,
yes,
right?
yes,
So can you
sure.
shed some more light on how this therapeutic value has evolved in India?
In fact, I must say we have to go dig into our history, and I must say more than the classical. First, that quality of therapeutic intervention came in folk music. I must say, because in folk music we find songs suiting to every occasion of the life. Whatever is the, even in our from the birth to whether it is cradle ceremony or whether it is for education, starting the education. This is our normal life. Even in various others, like if I have to take a farmer, from the time he sows the seed, then the seed is taken for sowing. He actually, every village we have a grama devata. What they will do is they'll take the tokri, the basket where they have these seeds which has to be stored. They keep it there and they sing, clapping their hands and sing some tunes which will actually enhances the sprouting energy, the positive energy into the seed. And when they are sowing it inside the earth, they sing song so that it is getting that positive energy so that it lives and it comes out in a form of beautiful crop. And every stage you'll see whether it's a cutting the crop or it is drying the whatever they are produced. All those things, they have songs associated with it. This is in the professional way I'm saying. That's like a small farmer from that. So every profession, if you come across, they have some songs associated with it. In our life too, it's some song. So this is a traditional thing which was happening from centuries to centuries. It is passed on from many generations to us. Like what the babies, small baby, cries, he wants to sleep, agitated. In a remote village, that lady may not know ABCD of music. Instead of ABC, not ABCD, Saregama of the music. But still, as a expression, that emotion which is evoked in her, listening to the crying of the agitated cry of the baby, that outcome it forms into a tune, and that which relaxes the baby. For every mother, it comes from inside. She need not know the music. She understands the baby's language in the form of cry. And that induces outcome from her. So this is what is we are seeing in every stage, and it is coming in India from very far, I must say centuries ago. But one thing I must say, some people have the um, that idea. Some people say that it's coming from the Vedic period. So, do you want me to talk about it, Rakesh?
I think we can do it very quickly, but yeah, I think we have time. So go ahead. Like, I think this is of interest to people. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So some people have that idea that it's a part of Vedic period. Actually, during Vedic period, there was no Sangeetam at all. They had only what we call as a Nada Anusandana method. And even when the therapeutic, that the intervention used to happen, how they used to treat the rogi, the chikitsa, what they used to do is that they used to apply Ayurveda. We all know that that was the practice. Then it was a Jyotisham, where they had to select the column. There is a reason behind it, and they select a proper time for the treatment what they have to provide to the rogi patient. Then they do Nada Anusandana. What is exactly is Nada Anusandana? It is the evoking sound from the chakras from inside. What is this chakra? Chakra is the energy centers. Rakesh, can you put on that slide which
Yes.
shows the...
Yeah. I'll just do that right now. I'm going to share it. Yeah. Here you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where you can see that the chakras, base chakra, Muladhara, then Swadhisthana chakra, then Manipura chakra, then heart chakra, that is Anahata. Then they had throat chakra, Vishuddhi chakra, and that is Agya chakra, which is between the brows, and crown chakra, which is the Sahasrara. So earlier, these swaras, what you see in the other side, it was not there. They had bija mantras like Lam, Ram, Yam, to the chakras. They had bija mantra. But those bija mantras they were using, they could use the proper healing power coming by chanting that bija mantra. They had the tapasya power, they had the yogic power, and they could chant that mantra or that bija mantra associated with various other mantras, and they used to pass the healing energy through their fingers or through their eyes. And what we are seeing nowadays, the patients are admitted in the hospital and kept for nearly 1 week or 10 days. Never. It was only within 24 hours. The person is completely out of whatever problem he was in. And this is where, even when we read about Mahabharata, War, and various other, what we used to have as Ramayana, and how these Sainik were fighting overnight, they get healed. They will not come back in the same form. They get that healed. All of them get actually injured by the arrow or sword or whatever there. But next day they come. This is what was happening. They had the healing power. They could do that, and they had the herbs which could help. As centuries passed, and our body became much more. It's not all that what it was during the Vedic period. The Bija mantra got slowly started using the swaras in the place of Bija mantras. It's not necessary that only swaras have to be there. I use what we call as a Nada Anusandana. What is Nada Anusandana? Evoking sound from the energy centers. It need not be Saregama Padanisa. It can be Akaram, or it can be Omkaram. It can be anything what you are comfortable with. And we have to be only particular about the place where you want to evoke the sound. And after the Vedic period, when I was saying that this was not there, out of these 4 Vedas, Sama Veda was comparatively little musical. And from there was a Upaveda called from the Upaveda, Gandharva Veda, and from Gandharva Veda, that 64 kalas, what we say, Shilpa Kala, Chitra Kala, Natya Kala, Sangeeta Kala. all that came out of that 64 class. That's how the music came into picture. It was not there. And this all reference, how the music was not even having a, identity in Bharata's Natya Shastra. We get that, it was Natyam was the main thing. And Sangeetam was somewhere as a, Pakkavadyam, what we say, it's like associated.
Accompaniment, yeah.
Accompaniment, like that only. So later period, slowly music got, that importance what we are seeing today as a very vast, very, very important, one of the most important fine arts, which is now. And those days, music was, the purpose was, Sangeetam was mainly healing. It was never for entertainment. It was always for healing. But later, as centuries passed, and when we have, means to reach to people in various ways, like electronic media or other things, even sabhas. Earlier, they used to have, even in temple, people used to gather and somebody used to sing, and then they used to have satsangs where they used to follow the main singer, and that's how the music started growing, evolving, more and more. It started growing, and various ragas got important. Some became major ragas, some became minor ragas, some became alpa ragas. All those things started happening. So that's how music developed. And, that's why it's a very ancient, I must say that. And when it started, actually, it was known as Bharata Sangeeta. Bharata Sangeeta. It was no Hindustani music or Hindustani, or it was Carnatic music. It was only Bharatiya Sangeeta. Later, this reference we can get it in Sangeeta Ratnakara by Sarangadeva. He has mentioned that there is an indication of bifurcation we get in that. And that's how that slowly invaders from Turkestan and Persian and all they came. And that's how slowly we started adopting some of their Sangeetam and their music, and we exchanged. And some of the rigid people said, no, ours is very divine. And they walked down to Vindhyachalam. At that time, Vindhyachalam was there. So down Vindhyachalam, and what they carried, what they call it as the Karnataka Sangeetam. In fact, Karnataka has got nothing to do with Karnataka state. It is actually Karnataka. In Dravidian language, Karnataka means ancient. Very old, very ancient.
Yeah, no, this is fascinating, right? This is fascinating. And some of us, as you said, we have forgotten that, what was the real purpose of music in the ancient times. And now it has become more of an entertainment value for people, right?
Yes.
And all of this, and obviously, I am very, privileged and blessed to have read your book a little bit at least. And I know I'm taking, as my Chitti said, I'm also her Shishya. So, once a week, we actually go through the chapters, we go through each chakra. And, the fascinating thing is that there's so much information and so much knowledge that you have managed to, get into that book, right? And publish that book. That is just, for me, that itself is a huge, huge undertaking. But can you also spend a little bit time? I'm sure people, they can get the book and they can read it and they can understand all the history and all. But can you actually apply this? You have actually made a difference to people's lives. To babies, to young adults, to elderly people, with the emotional. So there is a huge practical aspect of it that you're also following, other than the theoretical aspect. Would you like to take a little bit of time to talk about what you have done on the field and,
Yeah. So actually, I had a very good opportunity. One, to get a great guru, like what I'm speaking about my Guruji, Palagal Subramanian. Apart from that, I was blessed to have a team of doctors with whom I really worked for 10 years, medical doctors. And I must here mention about a very good neonatal specialist, Dr. Lakshmi Prasanna. And she introduced some various books written about music therapy and human body. And we used to do the study along with. And she used to explain to me the medical, whatever is the medical points, and I used to, and how the musically it is connected with. And I was very surprised because being a European person who's known as Arnold Guzman, he has written The Harmony of Human Body, the book. In that, I was very surprised to see that he has mentioned about special swaras what we have only in Carnatic music. Because in Western classical music and Hindustani classical music, we have 12 swaras. What we say Komal and Tibra and flat and sharp. In Carnatic music, we have got 4 more extra. That is a semi-minor semitone and all. So he was mentioning about that as part of human body. I was very, very surprised. And she, as Dr. Lakshmi Prasanna, along with her guidance, I started working with children with neurological disorder and various other complaints like ladies with menopause symptoms and lot of other associated problems, various other conditions. And in fact, even some doctors, medical field, they also asked me to come and do some work with memory loss and coma patients, and I have done, and there's a lot of change I have to
So
see.
this is fascinating because you might be interested to know that I reached out to a few doctor friends of mine. They are also actually in this group, right? Some of them have joined us today.
Yes.
There is another friend of mine who actually grew up with me back home in Calcutta, and he's a very, very top neurosurgeon. And he was like, I was telling him about this, and he said, we would love to have Chitti kind of like talk to a few neurologists, so to speak, here, right? So I mean, there is this whole thing. It's very strange, but in India we have forgotten about it, and in the
Yeah.
West they have a different scientific, questioning behind this, right? So they're all
Yeah.
like, "Is this? Where is the proof? Is it scientific evidence, or is it?" So, um, you know, and I am always struggling to figure out, in your mind, is it an art or a science? How do you look at it? And is there something about music to be used in healing or music with healing? What's the, how do you think about that?
Yes, yes. Music as medicine and music with medicine. These are strong 2 points I follow. And where music as medicine works with, like as I told you, neuro disorder children, like autism spectrum children, and associated symptoms of menopause ladies, depressions, cases with depressions, lack of concentration, various other kinds where there were people with suicidal tendencies, drug addicts, all this where there's a lot of emotional involvement has happened. Because mine is client specific, and I always look for the root cause. What is the root cause? If it is a drug addict, I'll say, what is the root cause? Why he became a drug addict? What was the reason? Whether it's emotional, it's a peer pressure, or just out of curiosity, what has happened? Any failure, disappointments? What exactly was the root cause? And there I work. That is where I go into. So I take a lot of before starting. I go through a lot of consultation. I go take a lot of inputs, sit with the family members and counseling, and I follow a lot of points. Where that led into this person into this condition. So there it is music as medicine and music with medicine, like in chronic diseases like diabetes, BP, all other chronic diseases. Then the doctors, they give medicines. Along with that, they advise to follow a diet plan. They ask you to follow some kind of exercise, whether it is walking, yoga, or anything, and certain, which is not making that stress in them, which may actually increase their condition. I mean, the sugar level may go up or the BP level may go up. So there they advise to be calm and make sure that no stress is taken. And their music comes into the picture. So along with their medicine intake, I always say, take your medicines regularly, but follow all these things so that whatever you are taking, you are you are there only with that same level of medicine. Because sometimes when we start with maybe 50 mg, if we are careless, it may land up with 100, it may land up with 1,000, 500,000, it may increase, it can increase. Because some things like this has happened with me. That's why I know that how things can go very, very bad. And that's why we have to follow certain regime, like diet restriction, follow some yoga and exercise. Along with that, listening the music which is appropriate to go with that condition. So that's why always my music therapy, when I have to suggest to people, I tell them first, I want to go through your medical history. I want to understand what kind of medicines you are following and what doctors have told you and everything. That after that only I take up. So mine is a client specific because according to me, a 35 years old man and different from a 35 years old woman, whether it's a mental or the physical or the emotional, everything is quite different. So what I may suggest a raga for this person may not be for that lady.
Absolutely.
So I have to take into that thing. And as I told you, not that, one more thing I want to tell Rakesh, the thing is, we need not go only towards the classical music, even though my base is Carnatic music, but I follow a lot with Hindustani music, Sufi music, ghazals, film songs, because I'm living in Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Telugu songs, because I'm a Tamilian, a lot of Tamil songs, and of course, a lot of Hindi songs. So all these things, if they are not okay with
The client.
classical music, I never force that. I never force. In fact, now also I got a lot of people under consultation from even Western world. I mean, for India, it's like from America and UK. And for them, raga doesn't make any, there is no point in talking about raga. There is no raga concept for them. I can't say listen to Yaman or Kalyani or Shankaravarnam because that makes them. There, I just tell them, evoke. I train them how to evoke sound from their inner part. So when they make sound from their inhale and exhale, what I call it as a Nada Anusandana method. You inhale and try to evoke the sound from where you need the healing has to be done, wherever is the problem. So if they are musically to tell them, yeah, catch the C pitch or catch the E pitch and F. If there is anything to do with the respiratory, okay, work with the F pitch and you make the sound ma. Or listen to Rag Yaman. You can, lot of songs in Yaman. होठों से छू लो तुम मेरा गीत अमर कर दो, like that. And many, even if songs like Rag Sohni, bole koyaliya. In fact, at this present COVID, what we are having, the lockdown condition, there we have to work with our immune system to make it more stronger. Apart from having very good nourishing food, intake of good food and good exercise, I say songs like this, where there is what we call, it is actually having the Tibra Madhyama. If people who are listening to me, who has got the music background, Tibra Madhyama, sharper fourth note. And that actually works with the immune system here on the upper part of what we call, if you understand chakra, it is upper part of the anagata. If it is komal, that is what we say Shuddha Madhyamam, it is flat 4, it will be little below. So
yeah, I remember, Chitta, you were like, for example, you were talking to us about the Vishuddhi Chakra, which is in the throat,
yes.
And you were asking us to do some, exercises with Tivrama and Pa, right?
Yeah.
So if you might want to talk about that a little bit, like.
Yes. So what happens is when we are doing this work, we are actually vibrating that particular, when you are doing that, like ma, pa, need not be only the swaras. If you are not comfortable, don't do swaras at all. Just say ah. This from the heart chakra. Ah, from the throat chakra. So what happens? There is in between is the thymus gland, which is this works with the immunity, building up immunity actually. So it actually gives the positive energy to strengthen. Yes, we have to have good food, exercise, and all that. These are all we call that supplementary. Everything should be together as a team, but it will help us to work with. So there are a lot of film songs, absolutely no problem. Even when I say that we have to work like morning ragas, people say there are morning ragas like Raga Lalit is there. In Carnatic music, we've got very beautiful called Malahari. Malahari. Malam is toxin. Mala, we all understand toxin. Hari is removal. Malahari, that's all. So that's a beautiful, very simple Geetam we have got. Lambodara Lakumikara Amba Suta Amara Vinuta. This is what Carnatic music. If you have to come to film song, beautiful we have got. Jago Mohan Pyare Jago. This is actually not only awaking you from inside. This is when it is based on morning ragas. There is a science behind it. As you asked whether music has got science, of course, every music swara, every note has a science behind it. Because then we talk about these swaras, and especially morning ragas. All are, as I said, every type of song, whether it is ghazal, hard rock, or Sufi, or Hindustani music, Carnatic music, film songs, anything you take, any genre of music, they all are basis only these 7 swaras. Okay, they do here and ulta, they do combinations and blend up with some ragas. Okay, that's what. Or sometimes many film songs we have multiple ragas. One line will be one rag like Ye moha moha ke dhalge siyul me jaulje Yaman. Okay, in that next 2-3 lines Ye na 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 similarly. So there are multiple. Yes, there is nothing wrong in it. So similarly, coming back to the morning ragas, the combination in the many of these things, if the people who are listening who has got trained musical background, I mean, you are trained in music, any kind of music, you will understand the morning ragas in Carnatic music have combination of Shuddha Rishabham and Antara Gandharam. In Hindustani music, Komal Rishabh and Shuddha Gandhar. Most of the morning ragas will have this. And that is the main purpose when we see scientifically. It works with our lower part of our body, where the morning we have to get rid of our toxins. And this combination of Shuddha Rishabham, Antara Gandharam, that is Komal Rishabh and Shuddha Gandhar combination, helps beautifully, and what we say, helps the Apana Vayu, which helps in the early morning process of getting rid of toxins. So every samay that we have, that what we say, time tested, the ragas, they got particular time, like afternoon for pose during lunchtime. Earlier, when we had this joint family system, I had observed a lot of places there we never used to sit on individually what we are doing like this and sitting on the dining table or anything. All used to sit on the ground properly, and the ladies of the family will, actually they will serve. And as the science also says, and what our sampradayam also says, when you are eating food, don't talk, don't discuss. Enjoy the food, chew the food, and enjoy the taste. This is very, very necessary, and keep a calming mind. And that time, Like whenever my guru used to conduct Tyagaraja Utsavam for 9 days, at that time a lady will stand like that. Even earlier days, that's what my Guruji used to tell me, that in earlier joint families system, somebody in the elderly lady, either Bua, Chachi, or somebody, some even grandmother who can't physically do much work, and she will stand up inside and very soft voice, she will sing raga, which will help at that time to help the Jirna Shakti, that is Pachan Shakti, digestion, should happen well. So we have a lot of, like in Carnatic music, we've got a beautiful ragam called Sri Ragam. Endaro Mahanu Bhavulu. This is the one. In even ragas like Vrindavana Saranga, we have beautiful, even what we say now, if I have to say film song, Ghumara, 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 Ghumara. That is what Vrindavana Saranga
Right,
is.
Vrindavan Sarang. Yeah, absolutely. No, this is, and it's fascinating, right? Like there are so many things that we not just, I would say, take for granted. We don't even know why people are doing, singing a particular thing in a particular time. So it's kind of like, I think that whole body of knowledge as to why we are doing certain things in our culture, right, has somehow, kind of like gone, and very few people understand. They're just doing it as a ritual. Blind, oh, my mom did it, my grandma did it. I've been brought up like this, so I'm doing it, right? But I mean, I have obviously, been fascinated to learn about all these things from you in my, one-on-one with you, right? And about our culture. And our culture has so much to offer, right? It has got Vedanta, it has got yoga, there's pranayam, how to breathe, and then there is classical music. How are they all connected? I mean, our audience would love to know, in your view, how are they all connected?
Sampradaya and music, that's what you want to ask me question?
Yeah.
Yeah, lot of sampradaya. We have got, early morning, when that was a practice, that when we get up and we have to, after washing our hands and legs, we do go out and do yoga, Surya Namaskara, or even not, even small children will do Namaskara. Some shlokas will be, told by the elders of the family, and we do it looking at the Surya. We just listening, thanking, and that was a very good practice, because when we are doing that, and even when we are singing, even the swaras, they'll say, okay, you have learned Sarigama, early morning practice, riyaz karo, early morning up riyaz karo. What was that? Because when we are singing, when we are pulling the tan, and when we have to sing the swaras like you see, it's more like what we are doing in pranayama, holding the exhalation for a longer duration. You are inhaling and you are exhaling, but you are doing that. Actually, there's a science behind it. So this was the practice early morning, making the children of the family to sit and sing early morning, 5:30, get up, wash your hands and legs and all, come and sit and sing. That is a good practice. Then they will, after doing all the snanam and all, they will say, okay, come on now, before going to the school, you do prayers. And especially when you are going for the any exam or something, they'll say, should not forget. So if there is a Ganesha temple on the way, go and do bite. Hold your ears, look like this. What is this? Now the people, it has been proved that this is a brain gym. Doing this actually is helping the brain cells to be active, and to make sure that what we studied, memorized, we should not forget after seeing the paper. So that was, even when we did any mistake, the teacher used to give this punishment, hold your loves. And this is a very good practice of, to get back the memory, what we say, suddenly, it's a distraction. I always say it's not loss of memory for the small children, it's a distraction. They get distracted and they tend to forget what they have seen. So then, yes, before lunchtime, again, they will make us do some small prayers. That is just to do, it's like a Annashuddhi. And also, it is prayer to the what we say that ragas, which is meant to evoke the digestive juices to become active. So that is necessary. So according to that, we have what we say around 10 o'clock, because earlier they used to have around 10 o'clock or something. So we have like Rag Bhairavi in Hindustani. Laga chunari medag. This is so all, and you have a Bilahari Ragam in Carnatic music. Bilahari Ragam, very simple. We have a small, this one, what we call Swarajati. Rara Venu Gopavala Rajita Sattu Jai Sheela. When you hear, this is a Veera Rasa Ragam. Actually, what is the purpose? This actually enhances the metabolic rate. And people who are having, some problem with the sugar level, fasting sugar. So when your fasting sugar is high and you have to have your breakfast or food or something, it will more get high because already you're listening. So normally when we go for a walk, we just do some exercise. That time listening to ragas like this will help us to do little faster. So what happens is these certain ragas are meant to be heard or sung before this karikram of having lunch or brunch or whatever it is, so that your body is ready to accept the intake of food, so that your body is ready with all your digestive system, juices and enzymes. So that is the purpose of it. And as I told you, during lunchtime we have this thing. That's a science, that's what I say. By evening, when we all come back from school or whatever it is, they used to wash their hands and do some singing for Sandhya Kala. It's a beautiful purpose because it unwinds, it calms, it actually, the mind really relaxes, not through the electronic media. It is Swayam singing or somebody singing and we are listening. This even nowadays I have started suggesting to the senior retirement homes, because that's a 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock is the time when they normally, go into that feeling that, yeah, I'm lonely and nobody's there, nobody's listening cares or something like that, start haunting them. So I said, no, don't, because that will affect their dinner, what they're having the dinner. So I said, listen, start some satsang. So there they sing whatever, easy going songs, and especially a lot of evening ragas, like, we have after 4 o'clock, we have this Hamir Kalyani or Purvi Kalyani. Purvi Kalyani is a wonderful ragam, what in Carnatic music they have. That actually induces the feeling of forgiveness, that kshama. So that when you are getting these negative emotions, practice forgiveness. That will less, that, we become, that heaviness what we are undergoing will come down, it will reduce. So Purvi Kalyani, that's a wonderful ragam in Carnatic music we have got. And we have got a lot of songs based in that, classical songs. And even when we come to one more ragam, which is beautiful, is Hamsadhvani. Hamsadhvani is again, both in Hindustani music and Carnatic music, it is there. And जातो से नहीं बोलूं कन्हैया, जातो से नहीं वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम. This is a beautiful ragam which actually gives the positive energy to the mind, which helps us to get out of these negative emotions. So these are suitable for the evening. And so even when as child we come back, they say that, okay, sing where the ragas which help us to help us to come out of the tiredness, the body should relax. Beautiful ragas are there, like in Behag, we have got very nice songs in Behag also, which also help a lot to come out of the, what we say, the even today, I tell them, when you're coming out of your work, don't go and immediately start the TV and see the news, which is really very discouraging. the news already you are tired in the office doing so much of stressful work. Coming back and again you are seeing something stressful. It's better that don't switch on. You just go listen to some soothing music coming, like what we say, Sindhu Bhairavi or Pilu
So even
or some.
things like Om Jai Jagadisha Hare and all, right? Like would
Very,
be.
very beautiful. That's what one more thing I wanted to tell you, that this Harati, why they have this Harati Paddhati now especially we have seen a lot of temples also they do, even in houses, in the joint families are there, like some of I have seen Gujarati families and Marwadis and all, they have this Paddhati of having Aarti at night, even at home. So they sing this Om Jai Jagadish Hari. It's a beautiful song. And similarly, I say that in a joint family, when there is it's something disturbed, lot of arguments will happen. Jab char bartan hai to awaaz hota hai, definitely hoga. So we say that listen to rag called Desh, and this has got I got very beautiful feedback that when there is a conflict between a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, I had worked with this girl, and I said just keep singing this Desh rag. And Desh is a rag which brings harmony. In fact, I have got a wind chime outside my house, which is based on Desh rag. As the wind blows, it starts making the sound, musical sound. We immediately feel like singing Vande Mataram. So they asked me, I said, no, whoever comes to my house, they should be in harmony with us, my house. So we should be harmony with each other, and that's a better good quality. So that
No, totally. I can see all the bahus in the Zoom chat smiling at what you're saying right now. I'm sure they're all kind of like enjoying and getting some tips from you here. Like,
yeah. So tell me.
So one thing I wanted to just point out is that I really encourage everybody else to ask questions. This is what happens when I'm with my chitti. We have done more than an hour right now. I don't think you probably realized how much time we have passed already, because she's just.
Yeah, it's more than 1.5 hours, I think. Yeah.
No, it's not 1.5. It's 1 hour and 10 minutes, but still, it's a lot of time just passes like this. And I can tell you that, we have my friend Rajesh and I, we are getting up every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. to listen to her. So obviously she's got something to deliver that is making us get up at Sunday mornings at 7:30 and, have a session with her. But it's just, time just passes, right? There's so much to learn. There's so much to understand. There's so much to relate with music and, culture and us. So I'm really, hoping that we get a few questions from the audience. I do see 1 or 2 come in already, but I would really encourage you put more questions. But I have one question for you. So as I said, you are super busy yourself, right? Before you came to this session with us, you already had a session with UK.
Yeah.
And you had another.
Skype with somebody else also.
Skype with somebody else, right?
Yeah,
now that COVID times are here, you can't travel anymore, because otherwise you would be jutting off to different places, giving your, sessions there in person. But how do you get the energy to do all this and yet look so young?
That's a wonderful question you are putting it to me. It is like what people do, keep doing yoga. They automatically have a lot of energy built in. What I'm doing is through Nadam, that is Nadam is music. Through that, I am actually energizing my inner body. And in fact, my younger sister keeps on telling me, please go slow. And
that's my mom. Yeah, that's my mom.
Yeah. So what happens is my energy levels, as I told when I'm energizing my chakras, when I'm doing class, I'm full of energy. I really don't know, because only me and my husband, we both are, we don't eat that much. We eat very little, which is enough for our nourishment. We are doing good health only. So not much of work. So what will I do with piled up energy? So I have to release it. So I keep taking classes in whatever time is available. I go for a walk. I do my gardening. I got a good garden, and I do this work and that work. I teach a lot. And otherwise, if nothing to do, I'll start doing research. Now I'm doing various research in astrological way. You know how astrology and music is connected. Because I'm more into medical astrology. So I am seeing that how medical astrology and music can be clubbed. So various other things. This all inner energy, and I've seen my age group. I must say, I'm lot of healing I'm doing for them because they don't know what to do with their time now at present lockdown condition. They come and they call me and say, I'm feeling so bored. I got nothing to do. It's actually I'm getting into depression. All these things, like we say that idle mind disables the workshop, like that it happens. So that should not happen. So I always advise people that by that time you are reaching 50, develop some hobby which you should keep yourself busy till the last moment of your life, because then only our body is all the time active. We are healthy to a large extent. We are really, yes, there are limitations because of the age, but it's all in the mind. It's in the number. That's all. I say that age is only in number. As far as I'm concerned and my husband is concerned, we both make sure that we are very active, and that comes only with music. When I'm singing, he whistles along with me. And I do, whenever I'm doing that prana, when I'm doing the Nada Anusandana, he also tries to. So these are the various, actually keeps that energy level fantastic. Telling you, all, it's easy. It's within us. It's in our own body. Evoking sound from our own body. If you believe in chakras, you can work on the chakras and energize the chakras and get positive energy. If you don't believe in chakras, no need to bother.
No need to bother. Yeah.
Talk about the system, that angas, where they are, the body organs are there, whether it's a kidney, whether it is heart, whether it is the stomach, whether it is, whatever organ, if you want to heal, you want to work on, energize more, strengthen more, produce sound from there. If you know music, then I'll say, okay, this pitch, this swara, and this raga. That I can guide. If that's no problem, we can go anywhere. So this, actually, one thing I want to say here. A lot of my clients are children of doctors and all practicing doctors. So, and they also now, when they are seeing me working with the children with like this, they also want to energize them. They are doing, and I am guiding them. That is the easy way. When you are doing pranayama and all, you associate sound along with that and try to do this. There's nothing. You can say Om, or you can say Ah. You want to say Allah, do that. Nothing is wrong. It's all up to us. What kind of sound is, how much, especially anger, which is a most destroying emotion in our life. Whether because of anger, the other person is getting affected or not because of your anger, you are getting affected because of that emotion. That damage is happening to you yourself more than what you are trying to damage the other person with your anger. No. So I said, when it is anger, try to produce as much that full strength of anger, take it out from your body by using as loud as possible from the inner, go as low as possible to inside your body. Inhale and take out the sound as loudly as possible. Take it out. Whether it's Omkara, whether it's Akara, whatever it is, do it. You see how nicely you come out of that anger factor, which will save you, whether it's saving the other person out of, from your anger, it is actually saving you from damaging yourself. Stress, same thing. I tell that when it's stress, the very first thing gets affected is our Mooladhara, that is the base chakra. Your base, that is getting the first thing. We cannot be normal. In Mooladhara, we have a petal called Sahaja. Sahaja means being normal, routine, doing our work as routine as possible. But when any percentage of stress comes into your life, you cannot be normal. Your routine will spoil. So
You're saying
first thing,
mera base hill gaya hai. You use that word.
then you will become imbalanced. When your base is hill gaya, automatically you become imbalanced, physically, emotionally, and mentally. All happens. So you have to be strong with your base so that okay, jhatka to lagega hi. After all, we are all human. Definitely jhatka to lagega, but it should be momentary jhatka, like earthquake comes na, like that. Earthquake is as I thoda hilenge, but get back to yourself. Hold yourself. Make sure that you are back to normal. That mental strength you have to get back. So I said that in the stress, you should be strong enough to face whatever kind of the stress comes. And now that is what I am advising people, suggesting the people who come to me because they are scared, anxiety, fear, stress, all frustration, everything is now more and more with the people because of the lockdown condition. What to do?
Yes. There were a lot of questions coming out and about that, but and I will come to that in a second. I just want to say this to everybody in this session today, that the recording will be available, so don't worry. We will put it into a YouTube recording and we'll send it out. The book also, if you're interested, you can just kind of like send put it in the chat, or you can send it to our email inbox. I'll be sharing with that. It's basically Samvad at Sanskriti of NJ.com. Okay, so you can basically we can put it in the chat window as we are talking, and you can kind of like send us an inbox. We'll all collate all your requests, so don't worry about it. Even if you missed some part of it, I see some chats saying that they missed a little portion of this Zoom call. Don't worry, we have the whole recording available and we'll be sending it to all of you, so don't worry about that. And I think you actually answered a few questions in the chat already while you were talking about that, Chiti, but I think there are two small questions very quickly, if you can answer regarding that. Number one, because of COVID, anxiety, and all that stuff. First, simple question: which ragas do you suggest? Number two, is it always better to try to sing it yourself as opposed to listening to it? There are two questions for you.
Oh yes, correct. And first, I will come to the second question. That when you are listening, we always have these three types actually of hearing. One is active, one is passive, one is neutral. Active is where you are generating the vibration from within yourself. That's actually is the more powerful, because the healing, that sustained vibration for healing is coming from within yourself, and that stays for a longer time, and it's much more powerful. Like you are having the medicine, or you are doing the exercise for yourself. Passive is when you are looking at somebody doing the yoga exercise or something like that, you feel, yes, I can also do, or seeing that, you are imagining that, yeah, I am also doing that asana. Yes, it may not be possible for me, but looking at this and imagining that, yes, I am doing it, that's passive. So, yes, mentally, when you think about it, it has an impact, but it may be about, I must say, about 30 to 40%. Similarly, when you are listening to the music, of course, that also has a similar, but one thing is here, when you keep on listening to that music again and again, someday you will start humming because it gets into your system. And from passive, you become active. And what is a neutral? What you listen in the gym, the hotel, in the airport.
Background.
It is background. Many, even children as students, even I used to do that. I used to play some music in the back, which I like. Some songs or film songs. Those days only transistor was there. So,
right.
So whatever was playing, I had to listen to that. But yes, it was only shutting off my mind from surrounding. It is something is going at the back. Like we go to the hotel where they are playing music, but you don't get involved into that music. It is there, which is actually giving an environment. It's creating an environment. When you are in the airport waiting, the music which is playing at the behind will actually give you the calm. Otherwise, you will feel agitated. How long I have to sit and wait? This will come to your mind. So the music will, actually unknowingly, without your, subconsciously, you are actually that is going inside you, and it's actually relaxing your nerves to be calm and relaxed. So this is it. No. So coming to the first question is, what ragas you? Which ragas for what you asked exactly?
For COVID, the anxiety and to calm yourselves down right now.
Calming yourself. Okay. So there are very calming ragas like Bihag. One of them is best is Bihag. Bihag is a lot of songs in that, जिंदगी के सफर में गुजर जाते हैं जो मकाम. Exactly, that even the lyrics suits it. Oh, फिर नहीं आते. Definitely, we don't know when it will come back. So it's so beautifully. I mean, many years back, this Rajesh Khanna movie song is no more. Okay.
Yeah. We all know about your crush on Rajesh Khanna.
Yes, my one-time hero. Yeah, even today, and now it is okay. I'm sharing it with Hrithik Roshan. Yeah,
Oh,
I enjoy.
okay.
So, so that is it. So, actually, the Bihag Rag is what we call as an antidepressant rag. There are many more, like antidepressant rag is one is Bihag, one is Sindhu Bhairavi. It's beautiful, songs in Sindhu Bhairavi. What we call it as even Bhairavi. So these are some of ragas, and also what all we normally, even if we are trained music people, can understand Madhyama Shruti ragas, what we call as Ananda Bhairavi or Kapi, and all this is Madhyama Shruti, where Ma we join it with the Sa Shadjam. We take it as Sa. That is what people who have got music understanding, they will understand. Otherwise, easy is just keep your hand here and sing whatever comes to your mind, which is giving you soothing feeling. And a lot of people, they said that, some people ask me about bhajans like song. I said that Shri Ramachandra Dayalu Ramana. This is Rag Yaman, beautiful rag, which is also very, very helpful. Like earlier I said, if you want to listen to Jagjit Singh, oh, no, say chulo. It's a beautiful raga. Another one is beautiful, is Malkaus, that is Hindolam. Malkaus is actually very early morning raga. When we say that just after the night and before the dawn, it is actually before the sunrise. Why this is Malkaus? Even senior people might have heard this song. Man tarapat hari darshan ko aaj, because this is got madhyam, which is actually shuddha madhyam, that is flat one, but same time this works with the heart very beautifully, and it helps in calming. Why? There's a reason. Because this raga has the early morning. We have early morning, the first thing which many doctors may, I need not tell them, they're all practicing doctors and educated and all. The first thing starts working in our body is the liver. So liver actually, this soothes the liver. Sagama, the ga, forceful ga from the sa actually works with the liver activity beautifully. So this way, why this raga is meant to be that 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock early morning time. So that is it. So that even we can sing even during daytime, absolutely nothing wrong in it. So if we have to compare in Carnatic music, we have Hindolam. Samajavara Gamana. It's beautiful. It's a movie song also, and it is also a classical song. So there are a lot of we have songs. We can.
So this is great. No, this is actually, it's very nice, because I think this is what people need at this time, right? They're all going through, it's very uncertain times. We don't know whether we are going to go back to, our office or not. We don't know whether we are going to go out on walks and get the coronavirus. And there's so much fear out there. So I think this is excellent. Now, and we are coming to a close here, but one person asked a question, and I really like the question. The question was, do you also train other people to become music therapists like yourself?
Sure, but they should have good knowledge of some training in music, classical music, so that they will understand the ragas, the the minute nuances of ragas, the swaras, the combination of various swaras. If I say Shuddha Rishabh or if I say Komal Rishabh, they should understand which is Komal Rishabh, which is Shuddha Rishabh. Like Carnatic music, if I have to say Shuddha Rishabham and Chatushruti Rishabham, so they need not think about Chatushruti Rishabham, how, or if I had to say Kakali Nishadam, they should not keep thinking, what is Kakali Nishadam? So, musically trained, sure, no problem. I'm doing that and I will be more happier to do that because I want this knowledge to be, and I'm seeing good, because it's a non-invasive, music therapy is a non-invasive method and it's a very highly therapeutic and it really keeps, the basic is that, your mind is very calm. When you're singing, the musical notes, what we say, the Swara Devata and Raga Devata are so kind to us that they provide that healing power which, which are actually inside us. We have to only awaken them, that's all. And that exactly gives us, that stress is removed, we are calm, we are relaxed, and we enjoy. That is the main thing. So I want whoever is interested, I'm always, you can just fix up my timing. And I said, no, I'm full of energy. So one more, I can, there I can live.
one more on your calendar. Yes. Now, look, I mean, listen, I cannot end this without a huge shout out to my Chittappa, who's your better half, who is behind the scenes, who's fixing up the white parda behind you, and he's giving you leaflets for ragas. And I can't believe that he has learned so much just by listening to you that he knows what to tell you to speak about. That's amazing. But I think all of you should know that my Chitti and Chittappa, my Chittappa actually, he's like, he spent 50 years in Rotary. He's still involved and amazing energy, right? I look at my dad. My dad is like going and learning Sanskrit again in a much more developed fashion. He already knows Sanskrit, but so he's like pushing close to like 80, right? And he's like amazing energy. My mother, my Chitti's elder sister, very talented. She speaks 8 languages. She's very good at art, and she's hopefully writing a book as well. So there's a competition between sisters who can write more books, I think. But here we are all, and I'm like directly, appealing to the Sambandh community here. Dr. Pradeep Shah and I have had a lot of, discussions about this. We think there's a wealth of knowledge and experience that you have, right? And if there is in some small way in which we can use this platform to make you share some of your, your life journey and your learnings and your whatever you have accumulated over so many years, you would be blessed to have this opportunity to learn from you, to have you on this platform, to listen from you.
Sure.
And Chitti, thank you so much. I can't believe it's 1.5 hours. Yeah, we are almost to the close. I think somebody else wants to say something, so I will yield the mic.
It's me, Nimita.
Oh, hi, Nimita. How are you?
Hi. I must say, Chitti, I really enjoyed the entire session. Listening to you itself was a therapy for me. And it's amazing the amount of work you're doing for the world, promoting music. And certain things I didn't even realize that how you're helping the doctors, even they are going through so much anxiety, and you're helping even them with music therapy. But it's so true. I was making notes throughout the session, from the time the baby is born, the lullabies, then they turn into young kids and they're listening to music, then the teenagers with their head banging music, and then we reach our mid 30s and 40s where we start then going back to enjoying music from the 80s and 90s. And then we come to an age where it's music through kirtans that's relaxing us. It's music all our life.
Yes, yes.
So
in fact, I made a presentation which was done nearly for 20 times. I did a PPT, first breath to the last.
First breath to the last, yes.
Every stage, I said that every 7th year of our life is a turning point. So I made like that. So nearly it had 35 to 36 music pieces of all genre. I had all. I have put Western music, ghazal, chants, and everything. And that really to go with what music we need at that stage of our life, whether it's a 8 saal ka bacha or whether it is a 21 years teenager or 35 years old man, and how, and especially even till the, so I took as a human life as an average of 70 years. What scientifically now what they say, we are 70 years is our human life average. So up to 35 years is what we say ascending order, and after that
That is so true. But also, music in our movies, when they want to show a happy scene, they put happy music. When they want us to feel sad, they put sad music, and we see how it immediately changes our emotions. So, and they say that music has no language. So music is everything, and music is a science. Is what I learned today, and how it controls our energy. And I think that is what is so important. When we see it, that there's just too much energy right now in all of us that we're not able to use, we're not able to explode, and how music is going to help us control that. Rakesh, so much, you did a great job moderating. Thank you so much. But Chitti, or my Chitti as well, I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
sure,
This was
I'm
an
blessed.
amazing,
So many
amazing
people
session.
calling me Kitty. I'm really blessed. I'm blessed.
And just by way of introduction, Nimita and Nita, they are in the very very top level president category of Sanskriti. So
Oh,
nice that we could have
That
both of
that
them.
just means we have a lot more work, Chitti. That is all it means.
Very true. Very true.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
But wonderful. Thank you so much again. I would like to close. I don't want to make it like an Indian standard time here. So again, as I said, just a reminder, everything is available as a recording. We'll
Yeah.
probably put it into a YouTube link and send it out.
Yeah.
You can always send us the request in the email that was shared in the group chat I saw, samvad at sanskritiofnj.org. And once again, Chitti, I would really, really want to thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge. And if in some small measure, if somebody picks up music therapy because of this, or some doctor wants to collaborate with you on doing it from a, like a neurological perspective, or, some kid gets help from a development perspective, or some elder citizen finds a little bit of calm
Yes.
after listening to you, I think we would have thought our discussion here well served. So thank you one more time.